Hey everybody, welcome to the Combo Wombo podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Gimpy, and with me is the very gracious Chipped Monk. So
What's up,
full
Mark?
disclosure, I already recorded one podcast
take
the other
two.
day and completely fucked up and did not have my own audio in. So this is
That's whatever, man.
take two.
You know,
It happens.
it's a happy little accident, man. You know, I feel like now we're
yeah.
this is a tribute episode, dude. That first episode was legendary. Yeah, you gotta believe us.
It's true.
I wish you were there, man.
If there's like any podcast awards, that was the award-winning episode. And
yeah, dude, that one was the one. It was like Bill and Ted where they play that Wild Stallions, the song that unites the world. That was the podcast. Yes. That would have changed the human history forever, dude.
Yep, it's gone to time. It's all right though. It's all right though. But we can update you on some real current shit. So what's up, Chip?
Oh, real time, real current stuff, man.
Real current.
I've just been chilling, man. This last week, I've just been playing some basic idle game, like I told you about it. I sent you that link. Yep. I still don't remember what it's called. Even though already, huh? already in 1 ear, out the other. I have to look it up again real quick. It's like Spirit Dungeon, Souls Not Found, dude. Yeah, there's the formerly Souls Not Found. Spirit Dungeon.
HIO, for those of you.
Yeah, Martin Tail made that, dude. Shout out to Martin, dude. Yeah, I've been playing that. It's like more of an idle game. I've been letting that go in the background while listening to like audiobooks. It's like the one I've been listening to is called Campfire Cooking in Another World, and I don't like the style. Like it's just like everyone in the world's chaotic good. So like no matter what the guy does, he's like, oh, I'm gonna tell everybody about my secrets, and everyone's just gonna be cool with it. Nobody's gonna ever try and like take advantage of me. Everyone's like, you know, it's like a slice of life cooking. Right? Yeah, zero stakes. It's like except for the steaks they're cooking, dude.
Right.
Right. They're like it's just like describing fantasy meals. Like this is like the best food ever. Like everything they eat's always the next best thing ever that you could imagine. And I'm like, yes, all right, I can listen to this. Some of the characters are a little bit annoying. I just don't like the passive protagonists as a general rule of thumb, where like the story happens to them instead of them choosing like what they want to be. You know, I lend myself more towards like the Shonen Jump style of like I want to be like XYZ,
the very best. Yeah,
like no one ever was. You know, you want to be the is it the king of the pirates or the head ninja, the Hokage, the wizard king, you know, this type of stuff where they have like a simple goal and there's like a power progression. There's a tournament arc. I love that shit, dude. I like that Dragon Ball Z style tournament arc until everyone just becomes super overpowered. You have your jobbers that show up just to like, you know, push up the rip, dude. Yeah, man, I've been just doing that, man, just chilling. I, you know, started looking at like what kind of video game projects I might want to start up this year, some little things. I ended up picking up a new cell phone because my old phone broke. The battery blew up on it. It stopped working. So I got like a Galaxy S22. It's like a newer phone. It's still kind of old. It's like a last gen. There's like, you know, more current
it's like
stuff. But then I picked,
right, or something like that. Yeah. It's the same phone my wife has.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's a good phone, man. I've been putting some emulation stuff on there. I got this Razer Kishi.
Kishi.
I don't know. Kishi.
It's like Rikishi from wrestling, but without the Rick.
Yeah. It's like a little harness that like plugs into both sides to your phone to make it like a game controller, like a Nintendo Switch Lite almost.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, I was like it, but nothing really supports. Like I got Genshin Impact. I downloaded that. And like it didn't work out of the box, but I know there's like third-party apps that like, you know, plug in unless you like
friends don't let friends do crack, dude. What the fuck?
It's a gotcha.
Yeah, dude. Straight gotcha games.
The gotchman, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I haven't played much of it. I just wanted to test out my new controller. I swear, I was just holding it for a friend.
Right.
So I got that.
Right.
I put RetroArch on there. I got the PPSSPP emulator for like old school PSP games.
Family-friendly podcast, dude. Stop talking about your PP.
Hey, man. We gotta get them PPs up, dude. Right. PowerPoints. That's all we're about. PlayStation portable, dude.
For sure.
Yeah. And I don't know, I was trying out some of those games out. Those work great with that controller. Sometimes I lose tracking and I have to like re-tap the screen to let it know, like, hey man, I'm still using this controller on here. I don't know if it's like because I have like a case on my phone, so I'm not sure if it's like how it straddles it or if it's just like connectivity or if like some other like notification pops up and it's like you know, taking me out of like the main screen. So maybe I have to like turn off notifications and stuff. But
yeah,
the controller feels good. The only design flaw I don't like is like the charger cords at the bottom, the base of the controller. Like I would prefer it up by the shoulders of the controller, so you can plug it in.
Cradling the balls.
Yeah, instead of like because like when you hold the controller, you're cradling it from the base. And like, so why would you put the PowerPoint right? Yeah, but it doesn't have like those wings that normal controllers have. So like,
I have a Super Nintendo controller somewhere around here.
Yeah, it's more like a Super Nintendo controller than a Xbox, like a Duke controller with like little wings or whatever, man.
Sure.
Yeah, overall, it's like solid build quality and stuff. I like it has like little rubber gaskets that you can pull out so you can actually fit a phone in there with the case. And that's nice. I like that design.
Yeah,
it's still like, it feels like a little loose. There's a little play on it. I know like a lot of people hated it when it first came out because they wanted like $180 for it.
That's pretty huge.
It's huge. Okay. Nowadays it goes for like $30, $39.
That's about right.
Yeah,
that's about right.
Yeah, it's like a little bit less than an actual controller.
Does it have rumble?
No, but it lets my phone pass through for like my apps and stuff, so like I can feel my phone rumbling. Sure. I wish it did have like some sort of like rumble thing, but I guess that all costs power, and like it's trying not to drain your phone.
Yeah, it's more focused on battery life than
for sure. And like that's what the whole like pass through only lets you do phone charging through it, like the passive C port for power pass through only. I wish it had HDMI out on it, because then I was telling you about this where like you have like the Unreal, and I was asking you a little bit about like how you feel about that, but I would love to be able to do like HDMI out to like the Unreal or something, so I can sit around. Yeah, exactly. Because here's my vision at work on break, just pop on.
Your phone works with the Unreal layers, so I mean, it's not. It's not going to work with that controller plus that, unless you get another. You know what? It might. I'll have to link you
It doesn't. It only does
work with the Steam Deck.
Mine only does power. I don't know if like I'd have to get like some sort of bridge connector or something.
Yeah. So for the Steam Deck, with the Unreal layers, to do like desktop mode, when I'm using that, I have the dock. I have a HDMI an HDMI to C converter, and so I plug the Steam Deck in as an HDMI port for the Unreals, and the other shit plugs in like C for power and all that. So it works with the dock. So I think you can do something very similar with your phone,
like some sort of docking solution.
Yeah.
Like the rigidity of the controller comes from the phone though, so I think I'd have to be outside the phone, which is why I got like the little plastic guitar clip for like a Bluetooth controller, because I have like a bunch of Xbox Series S and X controllers laying around. So I'm like, I could connect that with Bluetooth, have that plastic little capo controller strap click in, have my phone, boom, put my HDMI out, dude. And now I'm gaming with power.
For sure. For sure. Get sued. For sure. That's dope though, man. See, I enjoy the fact that you use your phone for gaming, because it's not something I do. So even in products that in that vein, I'm usually just not versed on. So it's interesting to see what the other side's doing. So that's pretty sick, dude.
For me, what got me into that whole world was like thinking about like app development for it. I don't know if you've ever like thought about like putting like any of like your games on the phone. I think you've had like a couple.
The first 2 games we had were on the phone.
Yeah,
like even though I don't play mobile, the first, they were free obviously, and one was just like a math app, but they're on the phone.
So you've dabbled with the phone, eco space. There's like not a lot of really good games on there still for some weird reason.
I think here's the disconnect, I think, and anyone who's an actual dev or an aspiring dev, feel free to disagree with me here, but I feel that the mobile market, it's 80% casual. It's 80% people sitting on the toilet or riding a bus or waiting in a doctor's office to have a distraction.
Yeah, it's like 30 seconds to like a 5-minute experience.
Yeah. Like I do, like for not playing phone games, I have a few phone games on my phone, obviously, and they're like really short, so I can just pop in, pop out. It's typically like round-based tactical games, because I really enjoy hex-based like strategy games. So I have a couple of roguelikes like that on my phone. I have some rhythm games. It's just something real quick, and then the other games on my phone are all whatever my kids put on it. So it's not like auto runners is like a big one too. So
I think the other problem too is like, even though there's a lot of money with like cash shops and stuff, like most apps are free. So it's like, if you're going to develop a game for that ecosystem, it's like, there's like zero guarantee for any money. Like it's like a constant, like the money in ads really isn't what it used to be. Yeah,
true, but it's still at a certain rate, depending on what your game is, passive income for you.
Yeah, like from the devs I've seen, I've like a bunch of independent devs and stuff. Because like it's one of those things you have to consider when like developing a game. Is like, is there any money in this for me at the end? Like if that's like one of your goals,
sure.
You know, like you said, like, oh, it's like a nice little windfall if it's like a little passive money. From the people I saw, like for moderate success, like 100,000 downloads, look between like $30 and $600. So it's not like a ton, and that's like a small to moderate success
revenue?
Of that's after over 3 months is what I saw.
$30 over 3 months.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay.
But they're doing like very small limited ads. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Instead of like every other, and like you said, man, people are only playing these games for like, 30 seconds to a minute. So it's like you catch like 1 or 2 ads, and then like people maybe never play that game again because of like just like, oh, this is just ads, blah blah blah, I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta
I've downloaded. Yeah, I've downloaded a few games like that where like I see it, I'm like, oh, I'll try this out, and then I'll play it, and that's it. I'll play like the one time, and like I'll get hit with a few ads or whatever, and I'm like, that was all right. And then like other games I've played like Summoner's War where I'm like, I don't mind. I'll sink in, 30 to 40 hours over a month into it, and then I'm like, I don't mind giving these guys like $100.
Yeah.
Because I've gotten that much enjoyment out of it, and I feel like most people aren't like me though, where they like,
you know what?
Look,
you've actually changed me, dude. I don't mean to interrupt you, but like the battle pass system and all that or whatever, I used to be completely against it. But your like kind of way of living, going, oh, I got this much enjoyment out of it, why not throw some money at it?
Yeah.
Like, so I'm like, you know what, you're right. So like Valorant, for example, I'm like, I got this much enjoyment out of it, I could do the battle pass and get some cosmetics and stuff and support the game, because like with in Valorant, it's like, what ads do they have, just for its own games, its own ecosystem, or whatever. It's like the shop,
like things like Leagues of Legends and stuff. When I was deep into that, I wouldn't mind giving them like $20 every once in a while. I mean, we were playing that game like every day back in the day. Like, we had hundreds of hours, thousands of hours like sunk into that damn game. Shout out to the bronze leaguers.
I think that I think that there's a weird like kind of clout that people seek for not spending money on these free-to-play games, right? Like, I never spent it. Who gives a shit? Are you enjoying it? Why are people trying to police your money, man?
No, that's fair. Like, if like that's like something you want to do, but like what the argument that got me into it, like how I got you into it, like my buddy got me to it back in the day, where he was like, because I used to be that same way of like, no, I never pay for like any of these free games, dude. That's fucking dumb. And he was like, are you enjoying it? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, like the devs gotta live, dude. Like you gotta support like the devs who make it. And I'm like, yeah, I never really thought about it that way. And so for me, the equation I came up with was like, if I'm willing to go see a movie in a theater and I get like for 2 hours about $10 of enjoyment, so it's like my price to entertainment ratio, where I'm like, all right, every 2 hours or so, it's worth about $10. So like, if I'm getting that much enjoyment out of something, I'm constantly like going back to it. I'm like, in the back of my head, I'll look at like how many hours do I play this game, and I'll be like, I'll get like their basic like intro pass or something, just to as a thank you, or like like thanks for giving me 40 hours of entertainment. Here's $20, and then you're also giving me added value in this game as well. So
yeah,
I don't know. It kind of falls apart with like more competitive games and stuff where it's like pay to win. We kind of talked about back in like the cheating episode of the pod, where we're like, where is it cheating and where's it playing smart? And then it's like, if it's like something that's in the game, where like we talked about like World of Warcraft, where they now have it where like Gold Shop, where you can just give them cash money for gold, whereas like back in the day you'd have to go through like farmers and like eBay and all this stuff, and it was always considered cheating. So yeah, it's a weird issue for people, especially like when you want $0 up front. You're like, this game's free in air quotes, but it's like, you're still taking real time from me,
Yeah, true.
But yeah, man, it's weird. So, everyone to each their own, like you said, like nobody should really police your money, but like if we can get you thinking like a little bit differently about supporting some devs that you enjoy and get them to keep making games that they enjoy. But like I said, like smaller devs that I've seen, it's like $30 to like $3,000, 100,000, 200,000 views. So I saw like another dev like complain the other day about how it's all luck based with the current Steam ecosystem for like developing indie games there.
Here's where I'm going to disagree with that take.
Yeah, I think like everyone kind of disagreed. He like just launched his game and like nobody played it, so he was like in a heated and that's so it's like we're not trying to attack anybody or anything. Don't go seek out these people.
Right.
Like, this is just our take on it.
I always find that people are like, it's all luck. It's like, what'd you do for advertising? Nothing.
Yeah.
Well, shut the fuck up, dude. You got to advertise your shit. It's like it's business 101, dude. If you're fucking, but
it's definitely like a meritocracy. But like, you know, a lot of people don't feel that way. But I think they're not thinking of like just how big the world is right now, like the ocean of video games. Like even like when I was making like that RPG game back in the day, I was like, oh, maybe I could like sell this. And then I was like, started thinking like, all right, how much could I realistically sell this for? Like maybe like $4 or $5. I'll put it on mobile. Maybe somebody will be interested. That way I don't have to put ads in. I don't have to worry about like the back end API engineering and stuff. And then I was like looking on Steam and I was like, what can I get for like $5 right now? And it was like Witcher 1, 2. And I was like, these games don't even compete. Yeah. Like, you can't even compete with these games on sale, dude. Like, so it's like, you're not just competing with like the new releases, you're competing with all games throughout time. And like on Steam, I think there's like at least, you know, like 10,000 games. I think in the world, I saw an article that said there's like
sale, I could buy the entire Valve pack for $5.
Yeah, you can get like, every Valve game for $5.
Just a couple of the greatest games of all time.
So you're competing with that too. So it's like, yes, it's a meritocracy, but also like you competing with all games throughout time, and like they're on sale prices. They're like cheaper models, the freemium models. One article I saw, so there's something like 5 million games out there, like in total, like in the world. So it's a meritocracy, but
it's low.
Yeah, it might be low. It depends on like what they're, you know, qualifying as a game.
Sure.
But you know, yes, it depends on luck, but like you're in a sea of 5 million people that you're competing with. So it's like, all right, how do I stand out in a crowd of 5 million? Like you said, it's like advertisers, business 101. It's like you have to spend time, you have to like you know, develop a community, develop like you know, friends and stuff, and you know, exchange ideas and values with them, and like find like-minded individuals that would be interested in like what you're putting down, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
There's market research, there's everything. Like you wouldn't just go start up like a business randomly and be like, all right, I'm just gonna sell widgets, and like hopefully people are buying widgets. Like and then like when you go out of business, be like, man, nobody's in the widget game. It's all luck. It's all about who like your uncle is, dude. This is bullshit. Like, you know,
for sure, man. That's
humble family loan of a couple $1 million.
Glad you're looking into expanding the shit and really thinking about that for 2023.
Yeah, what you been up to, man? What's going on,
man? You know, Gamemaker, which is what I switched to after Construct 2, and it's going forward. It's going to be my primary method of creating games. As you know, I've been working on a auto runner featuring my kids and a stealth action game for myself the past few months here, off and on. Day job definitely just kind of overshadowed a lot of it, especially when I had, you know, when you're in that mindset where you want to dev, but then like outside factors are really just kind of get in the way and kind of hampers that.
A lot of it too is like, how much time can you put? Like, I know a lot of people are like, just put like a little bit of time into your goals every day, but it's like, man, if I can only do like 5 or 10 minutes, it's like, it's really
not worth.
Yeah, like a lot of people are like, no, it's about just doing it anyway.
Like I can't. Yeah,
I think the idea is like you spend those 5 minutes and then like you're like, all right, now I'm in, and then you spend like more time. But I think like, you know, realistically, when you have like other factors at play of like your, you know, family, friends, work, it's like, no, I can only literally do like, you know, maybe 20, 30 minutes here. Like, it's maybe like you can cut into sleep or something at some point, but like,
but then you're gonna burn yourself out, and then you're gonna hate working on it. So So I set a goal for myself for 2023. Just my birthday month is next month in February. So I figure by the end of my birthday month, show what I have for both projects. I'll swap the sprites out of my kids or whatever, and then let people play the auto runner. I'm gonna make a itch account. Well, I have one, but I'll probably make another one just for the solo shit. Show what I have, and then, you know, keep working on it, and we'll see, you know, if it gets done or if I abandon. But, you know, that's the thing. I think the main thing is over the course of this pod, I went from not making a game in 6 years before this pod, to working on smaller projects with this pod, to now working on a full-fledged project. It's definitely given me credence to get back into it, and I don't regret it at all. It's been super fun. It's been fun learning it, and it's been fun seeing after Opera bought GameMaker, the influx of money, what that's done for GameMaker itself.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying nothing was going to happen with it. They're like, oh, this is going to get shelved, or it'll be like Opera exclusive.
I feel it's better than ever, and longtime GameMaker people might disagree with me, but from
Yeah, I
we
think the
just
biggest complaint is like money. The money part is like it used to be like a free version or like a lifetime license, one
there is
time
so much more
payment.
support now. The tutorials are like from beginner level to advanced. There's like so much more activity. So I absolutely am enjoying that. And man, it's been fun to do this.
Have you
I
heard the
think that's
good
the
word
main thing.
about
It's been
our
fun.
Lord and Savior Godot, dude? This
The
independent
newest
get
update.
open.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you thought
yeah,
about switching over there?
Professor tried to get me on the
I
Godot
think he already
bandwagon.
quit. Like I tried to get him on it for a little bit, and then he
Yeah.
tried it out, and he was like, "Oh, this is kind of nice." And then I'm like, "Oh, you use that?" He's like, "No, I'm looking at like other like
G develop, right? Was that his thing? Yeah.
G develop or like Babylon JS,
Yeah.
some other
I
systems."
think if we get to a point where we're doing like a joint project, I'm gonna dabble in it just to know, but I think I'll probably save it for a joint project. Truthfully,
Yeah,
if it's a thing.
I keep dabbling in it every few years to see like where it's at. I liked it uh years ago, like when it was back on like version 2. I was like, oh, this is okay. uh I just didn't like their script. I couldn't get my mind around it because they use like their own like G script or whatever,
Okay.
and it's more, I think it's closer to like Lua. I don't know, I might
Okay.
be speaking out of school. I think it's closer to like Lua Java, where it's like it's more versatile and easier to do. But like in my simple peanut brain, I'm like, just tell me the best way to do
You
this.
can't
I
get
don't
your
want
head
to.
around. I'm sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
I need to really set up my whiteboard and like start like actually like I have to like see things. That's why I like visual scripting and stuff. That's why I'm like,
Sure.
if I was gonna maybe switch up to something, maybe be Unreal, because I like their blueprint system. I see other people like showing how things work in that. I'm like,
You don't like
oh,
Unities?
Unity's is okay. I've took like those 2 courses on. I finished those for their visual scripting. I made my click hero game like on itch.io in visual scripting. That was all
Yeah.
visual.
Link down below.
Yeah, is it? All right.
I'll put it there.
Yeah, so I made that all in visual scripting. People have been playing those games, dude.
Cool.
Like if you want to talk about like making games and like what you consider success, because like that was that guy's biggest takeaway was like he's like he didn't feel successful.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it depends on like your terms of success. It's like for some people it's
playing
like
my game is successful to me.
yeah. And so like for me, it's like finishing is kind of success for me. Like I have really no control over like how many people see it or play, but like I just checked the numbers the other day because like I'm human, and that's
sure
a very human reaction.
Sure.
Yeah, and it was like up to like 1,500 plays.
Congrats, dude.
Yeah,
Congrats.
but it's like it didn't happen like overnight. Dude. This is like over the course of like a few years now. I've had like that account, and I've been steadily adding new games and stuff to it. And if you want to talk about like just old school advertising, I'd go on like Reddit and stuff and like other game developer forums when I first finished the games, and I'd be like, oh, this is what I'm working on. Any feedback? And I'd like go back there and like see if anyone had anything to say. And then for Click Hero specifically, there was like several things that people gave me feedback on, and I went back and changed. And then there was like one major thing that I was just like, this would take like way more work, and I was like kind of burnt out at that time because I spent a few months on it, and I was just like, I'm not doing that, even though it would be like a huge quality of life improvement. I'm just like, I can't even at this point. I was like, I'll get back to it at some point, and I just never did. But yeah, man. So yeah, it really depends on the systems that play for visual scripting for me. I do like visual scripting in Unity. It's come a long way. They bought up like the old Bolt and they turned that into like their own internal visual scripting. And they always promised, this was like the promise from the start of Bolt was like, you'll be able to do one button click and it'll convert the visual scripting into C# scripting. That way you can see the actual script. And they never did that shit, dude.
That sounds harder than it sounds. It's a good bullet point, but that sounds awfully hard for the developers behind that.
Yeah, they just were like, we're never doing that. But yeah, they do a lot of great plugins as well. With it can read other C# scripts that you write, and then like you can recompile visual scripting, and you can like pull out things from that, if that makes sense. Yeah, so you can use visual scripting with traditional scripting. Yeah, everything's modular, so I can like pull out that visual script, and it'll be like, all right, there's like this bool, this variable, this variable for like numbers or whatever. So I can be like, all right, let me. The way I was using it was with like pulling out like stats from like characters. So I'd write that out in C#, and I'd make like a table, so that way I can just like quickly make like a bunch of character stats, and I'd be like, all right, they have this, attack, defense, health, and then I can go into visual scripting. I can like be like, use this script, and then I can like pull out those numbers to like, build a battle system or something else from it.
Sure.
It's definitely a handicap for me, but it's the best way I can learn and get my head around a lot of coding stuff.
Yeah.
I'm coming at this from like an artist perspective.
I was gonna say you're primarily an artist, so it makes sense that you're a visual learner. Yeah, that's.
But what about you, man? You prefer the Gamemaker? Do they use like a?
They have the visual method and they have the actual coding method. I learned through reading. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I need to read it, stick with it, and then look at reading it again. Visual learning is too slow for me, or like I absolutely hate videos. I absolutely hate tutorial videos. It's the worst thing in the world. I watch it at 2x speed, and it's still too long. I'd rather read it, test some shit, and then do it rather than pause a video, test it. And I realize that people who are making these things, it's way more work to make a written tutorial than it is to just put a video up, even with editing time. But I prefer written word. Like I have books of like coding examples and stuff like that because I'd much rather read it. And I feel like I'm a dying breed in that sense, I
mean, that was like the number one recommendation I just saw today. Actually, was like it was like if you're making your game for the first time in 2023, it's like this is what I recommend. And then like the third thing was like read best programming practices, and then it was like by month 6 you want to read this other best like practices C#. So I think like real people who are out here who like have longevity in the game making industry always recommend like reading some like best practices, best fundamental like orientation books or whatever. Like I have zero recommendations for that. Like I said, I struggle with that stuff personally, but I know the professor also recommends like a bunch of different like books and stuff too, like where he's like, you gotta read this Java book and this one. I'm like, all right, cool.
Professor's an actual programmer though. I mean,
actual programmer
teaches
like
that. Right.
I think like people early on and like I think the myth comes from like people just getting your feet wet, your beak wet. Is like, hey, just get out there and start doing stuff. Start like looking for like projects that you want to complete, small, tangible, like minimum viable products, the MVP. And then like just get in there and start doing things, because like you can bog yourself down with all the technical stuff. But the technical stuff's super important. Like after 3 months, like
definitely, man. We'll get there. 2023 is going to be good, man. On the other hand, too, man, in terms of just gaming in general, what I've been working on, or been playing anyway, VR-wise, playing a lot more Into the Radius. That game, I'm sad I didn't get into it till now, because I would have loved it like last year or the year before. It's that fucking good. It's basically Stalker in VR. Absolutely just... It is a standard of VR where more people should recommend it for people who want to get into VR. They're like, oh, there's only like a few games. Into the Radius is fucking amazing and highly recommend it. Especially if you like Stalker. It's very akin to that and in VR, and you feel like you're in it. It's fantastic. The other thing, man, we're getting short on time here, and I just kind of wanted to do another plug here. Chip and I actually got to play games together.
Hey man, playing games on our game podcast, dude. It's crazy.
Right? Who'd have thought? We both checked out Ltimechs, free to play VR game.
Speaking of VR, free to play.
They
got a battle pass in there.
They do have a battle pass.
Yeah, you said like as we were playing it, you're like, man, I wish they had like some more customization options. I'm sure that's coming for $9.99.
Straight off the shop. Yeah. But the game, it's a sports game. It's like giant mech soccer, basically.
Yeah, Rocket League.
It's like Rocket League VR, which okay. I think if you have like a ball in an arena and it's like hyper stylized, I
kind of compared to foosball. Like if you think about like traditional foosball,
I could see that. But yeah. Chip and I, we got ranked last night. We played it, and like within 20 minutes of playing, we're like, let's jump into ranked.
We're like, all right, we got it. We were running into some bugs with that game where like our hands would disappear. Like,
we had a couple bugs.
Like super important for being able to see where you're shooting and stuff.
So I found out what triggered that bug, by the way. So there's if you alt tab out of the game or you lose focus on that game, when you regain focus, you don't have your hands anymore. So relaunching the game restored that. So that's that. So I'm guessing when you messed with virtual desktop and went back, that's why.
Yeah, I wanted to put on music.
And for me, when I turned on the recording to record it, and then went back in, I had no hands. So that's a bug
I have no hands.
Hopefully they'll fix. But other than that, dude, it was solid as fuck.
Yeah, it's fun, man.
It was very fun. The rank was very fun. The non-ranked was very fun. So the gameplay is you're like these mechs and your fists shoot out like gauntlets, like fucking anime shit where you're shooting out your fists.
All right, rocket fists.
Yeah. And we try to get the ball to these goals, like soccer, obviously, soccer, hockey.
Yeah. And you can control the flying fist too.
Yeah,
so you're like
the fist
moving it
when it's flying.
It's like I don't know, what do they call it? Like a flight stick almost style control of.
Yeah.
Like your hands become flight sticks and like they float through the air and you are guiding them like heat-seeking missiles.
Yeah, so Chip and I, we started to really synergize, and we hit Gold 1 our first time. I think it has a very similar Rocket League style thing, so it probably starts, silver, whatever, like gold, diamond, or whatever afterwards, and we'll see how it goes. But I do see myself playing a lot more of that game. It was very fun. I highly recommend it. Community seemed fine. I mean, like healthy. It's never an issue finding a game. Although we did find if we started the game, the search right after we just got done with the game, it wouldn't start, so we have to wait a second. So that's
and like we're playing together, and like communication's key because like sometimes I'd start a match and I'd be like, you'd say, "Hey man, I'm not seeing anything on my side," so I'd have to like quit search and then retry and search, and then it would be fine.
Yeah.
So it's some sort of like little queuing bug there. Like right after you finish a game, if you try and go immediately into one, sometimes it doesn't show queuing for both people, and if it doesn't do that, just cancel and try again. And it's fine.
Right. Yeah, but other than those two little minor quibbles, I gotta say, and with CES showcasing what the future of VR is. And with games like ltimechs, and they have another game that's like a shoot 'em up game called Blast On that's also free that we should check out. I think that the key to introducing people to VR is play something that's easy to play, physical, and very fun. And that ltimechs game, dude, I lost track of time when we were playing that. I had a blast. So I think that's one game where it's not going to make you sick. But you feel like you're in it, So
I like Super Hot as well, or Beat Saber as well, or it's like there's now a lot of like a ton of physicality to like both those type of games.
Yep.
And even like ltimechs, where it's like you're not like running around a play area. It's like you can be very stationary, and then like you still get that sense of presence.
Yeah, very true. But yeah, man, I think that like I said in the last spot, man, 2023 is going to be big for VR.
Any resolutions, man?
Indie games. Resolution just ended on, like I said, end of February, releasing what I have, and probably let's say September, get like a project that's start to finish complete. That'll be my goals here.
I think for me, I think I'm going to try and work on a few smaller projects. I think really what I'm going to try and do is just like set up hours and days where I'm like, all right, on this day, I'm going to actually work on, game stuff, building video games for a change. Because I spent the last probably 2-3 months of 2022 just like studying, learning things, filling my head with knowledge. And I'm like, all right, I got to keep that and practice it because like I've already forgotten a ton of stuff because it's like it just taken it like was it been like a month off. I've just been like, oh yeah, everything's just gonna
right.
yeah
for sure. Yeah, man, that's good. So that's your goal by the end of the year and going into 2024.
It's just like keep on like putting aside time to keep on keeping on, try and work on smaller bite-sized projects that take maybe 2 weeks to 3 months. I know like I wanted to do something bigger like 6 months to a year. But like, I don't know if I have that resolve in me, man. Like, so I don't even know if like a big project like that in my mind, where I feel like you need like an idea of what you're going to do. Like, you just don't want to willy nilly be like, I'm going to just commit a year to building a game and then be like, all right, what type of game? What are you doing? And like, I don't know, but it's going to be great. It's like, man. Right. So I think like just
thing.
So I don't know, maybe make like 3 or 4 game prototypes by the end of the year.
Sure.
Every couple of months, maybe just be releasing them like clockwork, brother.
There it is. All right, man. Well, good shit. That's our goals for 2023. And also the other goal that would just keep this pod rolling, man. Just like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your friend of friends, tell your mom. We're out here.
We out here.
We're living.
Subscribe.
All right, guys.
We'll
see you next Sunday. Subscribe. We out of here. Yeah, bitch.
Peace.
Why are you calling my mom a bitch?